Good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. It's Monday evening, the sun is shining, which is unexpected because we had thunderstorms warnings. And this evening, as requested by Snowy, we're going to talk about the idea that's popped up recently about a renewed national service. And it's had people with varying reactions. Some think it's great, some think it's not. But I have to say, the whole thing of national service is a complete misnomer. It's not national service at all. There will be some people who, if they want, can do go into the forces, and others, and that's like a full-time position paid for a year. And there's others who will be asked to volunteer in their community. But there's no criminal sanctions if you don't do it. So let's break that down. Oh, but before we do, can we just mention that as I was driving home this evening on Radio 4, they had Johnny Mercer, who's an MP for veterans and something, and he's ex-forces himself. Now, he had not heard about this until it was announced, and he has got no more information than you and I. So, although this announcement has been made that the Conservatives have said if they get back into government, they will do this to help, build community, build security, etc. It's not been properly costed. It's not been properly thought out. There's no actual methodology available to see at the moment. So that got me to thinking. As I say, there's no criminality will be invoked if you don't do this. And there's only going to be, 30,000 out of the whole 18-year-olds in the country that will get taken into the forces. Now, obviously, they'll need to pass all the tests, the fitness test, etc., etc. Fitness test, maths test, word test, and something else. I can't remember. But they'll have to pass all the tests to see that they're suitable, and then there will be training. So, yeah, that's not going to be an immediate thing, I wouldn't have thought. Also, with the volunteering, it's you volunteer one weekend a month or one day a month? I don't honestly remember. I should have checked that out. But that is without payment. So when Snowy messaged me put up a comment saying please talk, so I went and had a bit look. There's very little there. So of course then my brain started running riot, which is what's happening everywhere. There's so many people now going, oh, national service, they're trying to get our kids, blah, 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 blah. And I don't think that's where it's going, I have to say. However, what I am thinking is that if someone decides they do not want to take part in this, they will not have a criminal record, according to the government, or according to the Conservatives, because they're not in government at the moment. But I wonder if that will maybe place any sanctions on any benefits or anything, maybe pension entitlements as you get older. I wonder if that's how they'll reflect it. By tagging your records to say they didn't do this when they were younger, so they're not entitled to that when they're older. And, it's not particularly anything like the national service that you and I think of when we think of national service, like almost whole towns getting signed up for the draft, which is the American word. I can't remember the English word. But yeah, so many people got called up and there was no choice and you were into the forces or the land army for the females, which was voluntary, I have to say, but you know what I mean, females was the land army, but the guys they got called up. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of people who are like, no. It will be interesting to see what the sanctions will be for saying no. However, as I say, it's not national service as we know it here, for us Gen Xers. It's not the national service that we know. It's more a society service to help society as a whole. Now, they're saying that you need to volunteer however long per month, which will be obviously unpaid. What I would like to check, just in case, is where are they going to be volunteering for? Because I would object quite strongly to them volunteering for a charity that's paying millions to its CEO. I would much rather they volunteered to someplace local that doesn't have money coming in, that doesn't have a huge staff, that they actually help somewhere where the help is needed. What I'm wary of, just when I was coming back home, I obviously went to visit mum today, and I was thinking, what if they start saying, you can volunteer in a care home? For what? So the wages can stay as low as they are. I mean, there's already huge things going on about we cannot get staff for care homes. Maybe try paying them a decent wage because their wages are rubbish. And there was a thing about we'll give them more training. Just put the wages up, for goodness sake. This is going to be my future. I do not want someone being asked to care for me who's either volunteering out of necessity or who's struggling to feed their family because there's some private firm at the top of the tree taking out dividends for shareholders. So if volunteering is going to be mandatory, I would like to make sure, or I'd at least like to hope that someone somewhere would make sure that the volunteering is actually for good causes, and certainly not anywhere where they're paying like six-figure salaries. Because if they're paying six-figure salaries, they do not need our children volunteering for them. There are much better ways to get our children an education in society. And the other thing that I really don't want them doing is, see if these kids are getting volunteered, I don't want them knocking doors asking for donations. Sales is not volunteering. That's whoever they're volunteering for cheaping out and not employing anyone. So if you're going to have mandatory volunteering, then I think that it should be somewhere like hospitals, libraries, ambulance, local council-run care homes. I still think they should pay more, but at least it would be the government-run places, not the just-for-profit. Food banks, children's nurseries that are not privately run, anything like that. I think that could be a good thing for volunteering. But the good news is, as far as I can see it, and that's only the information that I've got at the moment, this has not been drawn up properly yet. This is a pie-in-the-sky idea. And I don't even think the pie's baked yet. So yeah, that's my tuppence worth in that. So I'm now going to go and have a cup of tea, and possibly a pancake. Catch you later.